GE needed a generic manufacturing control system because they had 100 manufacturing divisions. And he thought they had 100 different projects going, each one building their own manufacturing control system.
Mm-hmm.
At great expense and low probability of success.
Yes.
They had both experiences. Too much money and not enough results. No, they had
How much had been done on that?
They had 5 letters: Manufacturing Information and Control System.
Yes.
That's what they had.
And they had nothing behind it?
Nothing behind it. It was high voltage switchgear that signed up with us. And so we started going out to come to, when the first visit we went, I was just walking with Stan and the other people through the plant that high voltage was using and just pointing out various things. And I remember going into the machine shop, which was one whole floor of this building, where they made parts which got put together to make high voltage be up to, I don't know, 1,000,000 volts or something, very high voltage.
Mm-hmm.
Circuit breakers for power transmission lines.
Yes.
And I noticed a bunch of tote bins, what I was told to call a tote bins, a steel box about that big by that big, about that deep, full of parts, and with a bunch of punch cards wired on the end of it. And I looked, and these punch cards were described, might say, cut off, drill this way, grind this, do something. You're fabricating this piece of raw stock into something that, and the raw stock got cut into length someplace else and was delivered to where the next machine operation was.
Right.
And I noticed, I looked at these cards, they all had not only an order number on it, but they had a date on it and an operation to be done. And so it was a piece of a manufacturing plan on this. Each punch card was a whole wad of punch cards all wired together.
Mm-hmm.
And each machinist would take one card and do his, and put the rest back in the where it was maybe standing on the floor someplace or on top of a radiator. In fact, we talked about it being radiator storage.
Yes.
Because everything is covered with tote bins in process.
Yes. Okay.
And I looked at this and I said, well, some of these dates have already gone by and they hadn't done it yet. And I said, well, this is the plan that was made by the computer. And so once an order came in, they computed a plan to make it and punched the cards out, regardless of whether somebody made a mistake machining something and had to start over again, or whatever it might be, or they didn't have the machine available, it got off schedule. No way to rename it. So they had a bunch of men called expediters who would pick up the deck of cards and say, now I'll go here, I'll talk my way through the shop and see if we can't catch up on it. And as they frequently found out, the customer would call in and say, where's my order? Before the shop figured out they were not on schedule.
Oh.
So they were a little embarrassed about the situation. And so they wanted a system that would get it manufactured on schedule, or at least would tell them that they're not on schedule. So I said, well, we need a system that when a plan gets off schedule, we can reschedule it.
Mm-hmm.
Even we have to go back and tell the customer, I'm sorry, we're going to be late. At least the customer knew we knew it was going to be late.
Right.
So that was the first design thought.
Okay.
This thing has got to be real time.